Every time we hear a game is being remade, we have to worry about the curse of the modern audience. Every company wants to modernize their games so content doesn't offend people and so they don't get cancelled, and sadly, the next game to face this dreaded curse is the Silent Hill 2 remake, because they are aiming to adjust scare factors for contemporary audiences. I have a bunch of things to show off, but before we get into the topic at hand, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month, or support the channel via YouTube memberships. All of the links are in the description, and of course, I do really appreciate all of the support. So this is a Niche Gamer article I wanted to start with. It says, with the Silent Hill 2 remake announced, the developer Bloober team has shared small hints about what can be expected for the remake. Unfortunately, this game already has some controversy surrounding it. While I think we are all pretty excited for a Silent Hill 2 remake, we've heard that they are not following the content exactly, and Bloober team is the developers behind this, and they have released some very questionable products over the past few years. It says the chief marketing officer talked up the developers' 2 games currently in the works, Layers of Fear and the Silent Hill 2 remake. She was asked about how the team came to be the ones taking on the mantle of remaking such an influential game. The fact that we're developing a Silent Hill game is an honor and a dream come true. Silent Hill 2 is a classic that shaped how our studio works on psychological horrors. She added, the idea of working on this project stalked us for many years, and in 2019 we received an invitation from Konami to participate in the Tokyo Game Show. To our delight, they asked us to prepare a concept for a remake of the original game's second installment in exchange for the opportunity of bringing the concept to life. And again, I think that we are all very interested to see how a Silent Hill 2 remake can be done. I think that we all would love this if they were following the original content, but unfortunately they are making some changes to it. It says, as you can see, we are not straying away from the original concept of making this cult classic. We just have some ideas on how to make the peculiar scare factors more appealing to the contemporary audience, which to me doesn't make me feel very confident. While yes, they're saying they're not straying away from the original concept, they are going to be changing some things because they just have some ideas on how to make the scare factors more appealing, which, I mean, obviously this game's scare factor is one of its biggest draw-ins, but the article also pointed out that while there are a lot of secrets surrounding this project, there are a lot of things that could end up being removed, like the famous Pyramid Head kitchen scene. I don't know if that will make it in. Unfortunately, though, if they make any changes to big scenes, they are going to face massive backlash. But like I mentioned, this is not the first game to change content for modern or contemporary audiences. They are worried about the content they're releasing, so of course many games have been toned down over the past couple of years. I talked about this situation. Facebook confirms the Resident Evil 4 VR will be updated for a modern audience, which was, of course, a very sad situation to hear about. Even though it was the VR version of it, it doesn't really matter because it is still, this game that people absolutely loved, and unfortunately their priorities were not following along with the original game and trying to make it as close to that as possible. Their focus was on, removing any content that they thought could be considered problematic. They said they sanitized it for a modern audience. The dialogue considered to be flirting, sexual harassment, sexist, and even sarcastic expressions, accounting for 30% of the game's dialogue were changed or altered, and there are dozens of examples of these changes, which is very sad. We also know that the upcoming Witcher 1 remake will be open world and be a modern reimagining, which of course we had heard about when they announced this project. And I love The Witcher. I'm actually replaying The Witcher 1 on the channel right now in live streams, but this is going to be a modern reimagining. We've made a lot of jokes in the live streams about what could be changed, specifically the fact that there are female characters that are literally just labeled whores. That probably won't be the case. They'll probably have some deep backstory and they'll probably be called like working ladies of the night. But regardless, this is going to be a modern reimagining. We also have the Splinter Cell remake and the story that will be, of course, updated for modern audiences. Whenever you hear this term, modern audiences, run, be worried, and do your research. I always tell you guys to do that, but whenever you hear about something being remade or rebooted, look it up. Try to research it, because unfortunately a lot of these projects do have changed and altered content, which is very disappointing that we can't just buy a game because we think it looks cool or we think that it has potential. Companies are, again, worried about being canceled. They're worried about hurting sensitive snowflakes' feelings. So instead of facing backlash on social media because a little bit of content was seen as controversial to these lunatics, they decide to, take that into consideration when they're remaking games and rebooting franchises, and they tell themselves, you know what, it's worth it to tone this one scene down a little bit. This article talks about, again, the Splinter Cell remake, saying much like the upcoming Dead Space remake, the beloved stealth title Splinter Cell will have its story altered for the sake of modern audiences in its remake, which has many theorizing that propaganda or modern-day politics will be shoved down the players' throats. Again, we do not actually know if this will be the case, but there's only so many things with these titles that they can update. While I would usually be very excited to hear about a Dead Space remake, Splinter Cell remake, Witcher 1 remake, and these sound awesome right off the bat, imagining what they could be, whenever we hear that term modern audiences, any hope and excitement that I have for the project goes right down the drain, because we have seen so many video games that should have been good be ruined because of this dreaded curse. Again, I do really hope that the Silent Hill 2 remake is actually faithful. It will not be too altered, and it will still be a good, authentic Silent Hill experience. But at this point, only time will tell. But for now, that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed it and found it important and informative, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.